Rue back to another video. Before we get started, let's cue my guy Indigo Saint. Let's go. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Black Rue investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe I was black or invested. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifested. So we binge on our black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested.
What's going on, guys? Let's go. Black Room Investing back in here with another video. What's up, Crypto Warriors? What's up, Black Rue Crew? Today, we're going to talk about remembering the long game. So basically, with all this meme mania out here, with all of this, not like I'm down in the short term. Short term's good. But I was just looking and realizing, right? While I'm talking, let me share my screen. Just realizing, right, that this year, we're in June already, right? This year's darn near halfway over, right? So really, let's remember the long game. And let's explain the BRICS long game. All right. What's up, Heavy Production 2 OBC? Let's go get it, bro. Let's remember this long game. So to me, there's a long game that's going on that is above, kind of quote unquote above our heads. I think there's a long game as far as, you guys know, I like Michael Gann or WD Gann, and I show you these Gann charts, so you know that I believe in astrology and crypto. I do believe that astrology and crypto has merit. I believe that those things up there have an effect on how investments work. And I think there is a bigger kind of spiritual, if you will, thing going on with these markets that, unless you understand that world, it's a bigger thing going on right there. So I honestly 100% believe that. However, we do have some markers that we can point to just ourselves and look at, okay, where is this thing heading in the next year? Where's this thing heading in the next 2 years? Where's this thing heading in the next 5 years, the next 6 years? And since the year just went over, the year just left almost really so quickly, right? I think it's very good for us to remember that this is a long game. And before we know it, 6 more months will have already passed, and pretty soon we'll be at the next Bitcoin halving, correct? So, so let's keep that in mind, shall we? So today, what's up, Riviera Group? What's up, Be Like Water? So today we're going to get into explaining, okay, where are we going with this long-term BRICS game, okay? I could have sworn I was just sharing my screen. I don't know what happened with that, but let's do that one more time. Okay, so let's start here. We know the halvings are coming up, right? So Bitcoin halving, Litecoin halving, we can just get those straight out of the way, right? That's less BRICS and more having to do with money and how they set up Bitcoin and Litecoin to have continuous cycles, right? So we're very familiar in this crowd with having cycles. If anyone's not familiar with it, what you might want to do is go ahead and join the Black Rue Investing Telegram. The link is in the description because we have a lot of knowledgeable people in there. I check it regularly. And you can, learn about crypto, learn about this crypto journey, and have some people you can kind of shoot questions to. And if you want to upgrade yourself, you can do the Black Room Investing Patreon, less than a cup of coffee for a weekly watch list. Links in the description. So, yeah. So this crew, I'm sure is pretty familiar with Bitcoin and Litecoin halvings. So Litecoin's halving, as you can see, Litecoin's kind of gearing back up again. And we also have right now, if I put on these moon phases, we're also hitting a full moon phase, which it tends to be bearish after a full moon, which you can see right, or I'm sorry, bullish, not bearish. It tends to be bullish, a bullish after a full moon. And we also have the summer solstice, which is coming up on June 2021. Or excuse me, June 21st, 2023. Woo, can't speak today. So now that we got those kind of things out of the way, the kind of more short-term things like the moon phase, like the summer solstice, like the halvings, we can kind of get into the BRICS plan of things, okay? And let me shut down the Telegram here. But yeah, the link's in the description if you guys want to join the Telegram. I'm sure people will be watching this also on the recording, so the link's in the description for you guys as well. Let's get into kind of the BRICS plan here. And this is kind of building on what we talked about on Wednesday. We went over what's happening with Ripple and how Ripple's basically positioning itself to be like the next clearinghouse, okay, like a replacement for Swift, right? For the central banks, and we've seen that this article came out on Coins a little while ago. It's loading on how Ripple starts platform for central banks to issue their CBDCs. Okay, so I was sitting around thinking about this, and I was talking to my guy Brunswick. Shout out to Brunswick, and we're talking about, okay, how could Ripple be used, right? Ripple could be used, right, to issue a central bank CBDC, where those CBDCs going to be backed with. Okay, so one thought would be that those central digital currencies could be backed with silver and gold, which is exactly what money used to be backed by, right? So really, money, quote unquote, dollars used to be a derivative of silver and gold. So it used to be backed by silver and gold. You could go in, say, look, I got $20, I want to change out my dollars for gold, okay? And that whole thing goes all the way back to the Templars, where the Templars were like, okay, if you're going to be on a road, you don't want to be carrying your money on the road. These thieves can grab you on the road. So you know what? Take our little checks, our little writs, okay? Our little writs, I know it's paper, but it's as good as gold. You go over to the next Templar area in this next city, they will issue you your gold for your writ, okay? And hence, like, the first banks were born, and the first like kind of money being exchanged for precious metals or goods was formed, right? And then we get into things like fractional reserve banking, all this type of stuff I get into on my crypto and conspiracy channel. Definitely check that out. I have that on Rokfin. It's also on Apple and Google Podcasts. I just did an episode with my guy one-on-one I know you guys know I mentioned him a lot. I finally got him on the show. Definitely come over here to Rokfin and check out the episode I did with One on One. It's up here for free. I chose to make this one free. So all you need is a Rokfin account, and I'm on here with One on One and my guy Homie Romy. Homie Romy's like like my most frequent guest at this point. Shout out to Homie Romy. So definitely go over to Rokfin. It's like Rokfin at Black Roo, and you can check out that latest thing. We get into things like money. We get into things like space. And like all this stuff is related. All of this stuff is related. So definitely come over here and check it out on my Rokfin. If you go to Rokfin at Black Roo, you will see it. I need to pin it up as my most recent video, but it's not pinned right now, but you go on there, you'll see it. So yeah, but here we are. So back to where I was here. Sorry, this is very organic conversation today. So one of the things that Ripple could use besides silver and gold is digital silver and gold. Digital silver and gold, to me, is Bitcoin and Litecoin. Okay, they could use that to back CBDCs. Okay, so what that would mean is central banks would then purchase, just like gold or silver, they would then purchase Bitcoin and Litecoin as like gold or silver that is backing their CBDC. Why would they do that, by the way? Because Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are listed as commodities, just like silver and gold. Let me see if I can find that article. Could have sworn I brought that article up. There we go. So, according to the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission, they've declared Ethereum and Litecoin to be commodities in addition to Bitcoin. Okay, so forget all the stuff about what Gary Gensler's saying, where like other than Bitcoin, everything's a security. Let's just forget all about that. Let's just ignore that. But look, so we're going to focus on this. And, I kind of think that whole Gary Gensler thing is a bit of theater. So we're just going to forget about that right now. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are commodities. So just like silver and gold, these guys are commodities. Okay. So who's doing that? The CFTC. Remember who the CFTC is. They are the, again, U.S. Commodities Futures and Trading Commission. Now, who else is on the U.S. Commodities Futures and Trading Commission? Stellar is. XLM. Stellar joins CFTC's Global Markets Advisory Committee as one of 4 crypto orgs. Now, know who else is on there? HSBC, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock. Okay, but also Uniswap Labs. Let's not forget about Uniswap. Uniswap always gets left out of all of these conversations. Really, I don't see many people talking about them like that, but they are always included in these things for some reason. So remember Uniswap when you're talking about these type of things. So let me make sure. Let me go see who's in the house here. What's up, Stacky Satoshis? What's up, Andy? Let's go. All right, so let's continue on here. So we got a good picture here now, right? So imagine now Ripple being used by central banks. We kind of just showed you the information there. Starts a platform for central banks to issue their CBDCs. issue their CBDCs, Black Rue, but why would can banks even buy cryptocurrency? You know what? I'm glad you asked that question. Can banks buy cryptocurrency? Another article here. Central banks to set standards on banks' crypto exposure. So they word this in such a tricky manner. And that's so on purpose. So when you read just like that, if anyone is just to read the heading on this, they wouldn't realize that means that they're going to buy crypto. They just wouldn't realize it. Central banks to set standards on banks' crypto exposure. Now, then you get deeper into it. The new standard limits crypto reserves among banks to be 2% by 2025 and goes into effect January 1st, 2025. So basically what it actually says is January 1st, 2025, crypto reserves can be 2% by banks, basically, for banks. So central banks will have crypto reserves of at least 2% January 1st, 2025. But they worded in such a tricky manner. These that bothers me. But hey, there you go. So cool. So yes, they will be able to purchase crypto 2025, and this is set by the Bank of International Standard. We went over this fully on Thursday. So check out my episode on that. A little bit over a video that Coin Bureau put out. We did like the first beginning part of that. Shout out to the Coin Bureau, and definitely watch that full video. It's a real video from him. But we're expounding on a little bit more of it in a different direction. So that then means that central banks could go out and choose to buy Bitcoin. They could go out, choose to buy Litecoin. They could go out, choose to buy Ethereum. Go out, choose to buy Uniswap. They could go out and choose to buy XRP, right? So all of that really, really comes together. But let's look again at that Ripple article, okay? Let's look again at that Ripple article. Ripple starts a platform for central banks to issue their CBDCs. Okay, Ripple will show the use case of this platform under the EHKD pilot, a program run by Hong Kong's monetary, a de facto central bank. Okay, it's also working with Taiwan's Fubon Bank, the product for real estate asset tokenization, another tokenization and equity distribution under this pilot. So Hong Kong, what do we know about Hong Kong? Hong Kong just had that law starting June 1st where they can buy crypto, okay? Where their citizens and a lot of Chinese citizens are also involved in Hong Kong. So they can buy crypto now due to this law that they put in place. And we can see here with the article, Hong Kong is vying to be the next crypto hub. We can see that and this is according to the article. Centralized exchanges play a major part in the week-long conference. After all, Chinese people control, like I'm reading the article, Chinese people control most of the sexes in our industry, largest of which being CZ's Binance, followed by Starzoos OKX, Bin Zhao's Bybit, Justin Sun's Huobi, and Sean Liu's BitGet. So all those Chinese guys have a huge presence in all the centralized exchanges. guess what? China is heavy in the BRICS nation stuff. We've been over how the Chinese digital yuan is really, really big in the BRICS nation stuff. How the Chinese digital yuan is being used instead of the US dollar for trade, for Brazil, for Russia, and how the BRICS nations are gaining so many different more countries going on over to them. I believe Saudi Arabia did, Mexico did. So this digital yuan is really beginning to be a thing. And as you can see, how Ripple is kind of right there with them. They're trying this pilot out in the Hong Kong Central Bank. So that shows you BRICS is going to be a central piece of what's going on. But can we connect even more dots? Sure, we can. LCX coin that I tell you guys about a lot on this channel, right? That's a member of the World Economic Forum. And they've been a member of the World Economic Forum for a pretty long time now, since like 2019. Let's go see some of the coins that LCX has on its exchange for trade. Okay. What you're going to notice is it's going to be a lot of these coins that have listed themselves as commodities, a lot of these coins that are all kind of listed here, other than XRP, of course, because they're trying to make sure that people don't really get their hands on that. But here we go. ADA, which Cardano, and people love to call Cardano a scam, but it seems like the World Economic Forum people have no problem with it. AMP, remember AMP, we've talked about that before, how the Winklevoss twins kind of have their fingers all over AMP, and the SEC supposedly listed as a security along with LCX. But anyways, here, let's do a search. Litecoin is there. Like I said, maybe a commodity. Bitcoin is there. Ethereum is there. Uniswap is there. Okay. So all of these guys are they're listed by LCX. A huge WEF type crypto, right? And what stable coins do they list? Only USDC. They don't have USDT. So it's all coming together. And another one they have Digibyte, which might be a sleeper out here. DGBT or GGB. So might be a sleeper out here. Just want to put that one out there. So it seems like to me that central banks might start having different types of backing other than just gold and silver. It may be some of these crypto, right? So they're going to start with 2%. And of course, I'm sure they will increase that as time goes on. But another connection to make here. Remember, I told you guys about Cordia, right? It's R3's privacy blockchain. There's a coin that talked about web token. So energy web token, you can think about it as energy actually being a commodity. Energy being a swappable commodity for banks as another thing, as another kind of resource, right? Like oil or gold or silver. So I've shown you here how Energy Web Token, and this was in 2020, so they've been putting this together, right? Web Token provides enterprise-grade settlement services for the energy sector. So not only are you going to get commodities with Bitcoin and Litecoin, you're also going to have the tokenization of commodities. And we've seen that right here where they're talking about real estate asset tokenization. This is energy asset tokenization. Okay. You go down here and they're going to tell you, they're kind of going to tell you they're doing this for your own good and all of this. But which part it is? Let me see. So R3 Cordia is Cordia is a completely private thing. So we'll read it right here. Energy Web, we're right in this area here. With the Energy Web stack, Cordia enables businesses to transact directly and in strict privacy using smart contracts, reducing transaction and record keeping costs. No, they're not. It's not about reducing transaction and record keeping costs. It's that they don't want you to know. They don't want these on the ledger. Like they don't want you to know how much their customers are getting paid or how much their clients are getting paid. No, it hasn't had anything to do with record costs and all that. But anyways, streamlining business operations and providing proven integration with utilities, legacies, billing systems. So all this basically says now, okay, if you're oil rich, if you're rich in natural gas, if you're rich in any type of energy commodity, you'll now be able to trade it using Energy Web token over Polkadot and Cordia with R3. Because remember, R3 has the biggest clearing houses attached to it. Remember, we've gone over that before as well. So it's connecting more of the tea leaves, but kind of getting them to the central banks and the current system, right? Going down here, you'll notice two members that I kind of already mentioned that are tied into R3 to Cordia. So Goldman Sachs, HSBC, where did we mention those guys? We mentioned them teamed up here with Stellar and the CFTC. So who are members? Coin Fund, Uniswap Labs, Chamber of Digital Commerce, traditional finance giants include HSBC and Goldman Sachs and BlackRock. So this shows you how we got a little bit of theater too, right? Because LCX supposedly was like doing something like they're trying to go against Sachs, when really they're all on the same team. HSBC, Goldman Sachs, and BlackRock are on the 36-member committee for the committees and changing the CFTC. So they're all the same team. Let's see who's out here before we continue here. What's up, Blockchain Bully? What is up, Richard Judge? I am Rich. What's up, Phantom Beat? What's up, HBCU Maker? What's up, Ace? Okay, yeah, we'll get to questions, of course, too. We'll get to questions. So if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat or put them in the comment section. I don't regularly check the Gentlemen of Crypto section. So if you guys have something and you've put it in the Gentlemen of Crypto comment section, you would be better off joining the Telegram and putting the question in the Telegram. Okay, so just FYI for those of you who might be watching the recording. If you do have a question like that, it might be better off for you to join the Telegram. It's completely free, and leave the question in Telegram. So, okay, so here we are. So yeah, all the same team there. But again, just to further cement in, stellar payment system, and I know I've shown you guys this before. Stellar's payment system, another payment crypto on Stellar's blockchain, Velo, is teaming up with Light Group and Visa to develop payment solutions in Asia. All of it's coming way just right back around to BRICS nations. And I was speaking to somebody on a Telegram a couple days ago, and they were like, "Oh, these BRICS nations, they're not going to be doing too good." Like, buddy, you really just you have not paid attention to the news, like the real news. Like all the infrastructure is really being set up for BRICS nations in Asia and all of this type of stuff to take over. The American dollar, I think it's kind of at its last leg. Now, we know about cycles, right? The Bitcoin halving gives us a four-year cycle with Bitcoin, and you can say that the cycle breaks down into two periods, which are 2 years of bullishness and 2 years of kind of like bearish accumulation. And it seems to happen like that every kind of 4 years, even though the trend is up. The overall trend is up, but within those 4 years, you have like 2 years of bullish, and then right after that 2 years of bullish, you have 2 years of kind of bearish action, and then it repeats all over again, right? So yeah. So this is where I was going with that. So right now we're in the year 2023. Coming up here in 2029, we will have 100 years since the Great Depression, right? And that huge stock crash, and banks were just jacked up then, and that's how JP Morgan kind of came out of there, because they brought up all banks and they kind of made things stable, right? So 2029 might be really the point where the American dollar like truly just really is done, and we're over to now the BRICS system, which they've been kind of setting up now for these years, right? So be on the lookout there. Okay. Also 2029 would be like another Bitcoin halving, because 2028 would be another halving there. So, but yeah, let's get in some questions here before I continue on. You think the month of June and July will be bullish? I think the month of June, like at least coming up here in the next like 14 to 12 days, maybe even 20-ish. And why do I say that? Because of this new moon energy. Let's go to, or full moon. I'm sorry, not new moon, full moon energy. It tends to be bullish. Like if we take right here after the full moon, bullishness. After the full moon, we got bullishness. After this full moon, we got bullishness. After the full moon, we got bullishness. This one, we didn't really get any bullishness here, but right here, we just had the full moon. I think it's tonight. So maybe here in the next few days here, we got some bullish action like this. We also have the summer solstice coming up. And the last time we had a summer solstice, like a year before the halving, would be back here. We got to go to 2019. Get rid of this. So summer solstice 2019 would have been June 21st. So you can see here, we had bullish action towards that summer solstice. we can even, can I make this bigger so it's easier to see? So right here, June. So June 1st was here. June 3rd was here. So we had a little bit more droppage and then a boom until like the 28th of June. Because I think really our calendar says that the summer solstice is the 21st of every year, but our calendar is not right. And if you listen to a whole bunch of different conspiracy quote unquote shows like I do, they will tell you the calendar as we know it is not quite how things happen. Um, so um, I don't even know where you can like properly find what day is actually the summer solstice. The summer solstice means it's the longest day, quote unquote, day of that year with light, right? So I'm willing to bet this year, and I don't know how you can find this. This year, the summer solstice day was more towards June 27, 28. But you know, if you just take what they tell us the summer solstice is, June 21st, you can see that it was bullish during that point in time. So going over here, same, I think we're going to get kind of same deal because we not only have that summer solstice coming up, we do have the full moon that just happened. So energy is usually bullish for that amount of time. This is just not financial advice, but just my best guess. We can do some things with the chart here and look as well. Like we're not completely oversold, right? But we're coming off a period where we would be mostly oversold. You can see here with the Wyckoff, we're kind of at a period because remember when I was like, when you get down to the rounded portion of the red, that's when you tend to bounce back up here. That seems to be kind of where we are getting towards a rounded portion of the red where we'll bounce back up. You can kind of see that with all of these here, where you get down to a bounce, like a rounded portion of the red, and then you kind of come back up here. See it? And it tends to correspond with like a oversold point. Or much oversold is it's gonna get. So for here, it just went like halfway beyond that marker. But needless to say, all of the signs, you know, all of the kind of quote unquote tools that we have, not financial advice, tend to say this period coming up is going to be bullish. So that was the multiple signs. That was the Wyckoff, RSI, full moon, summer solstice. Most online farmers' almanacs and astrology calendars would have basic seasonal sun, moon, and solstice information. Just make sure they are comparably consistent. Thank you, Irvi Air Group. My guy Scott coming through. Thanks a bunch, bro. So yeah, y'all, that's what I wanted to hit you guys with on this Saturday. I'm pretty sure we're gonna just continue to do like Saturday Tuesday and Wednesday shows for now. I need to change that on my Twitter. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Have a good one, guys. Peace.